Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that will change your life if you let it sink in. You have the power to train your mind to stay calm no matter what happens around you. See, life is unpredictable. 1 minute you're up, the next minute you're down. People will disappoint you. Money will come and go. Opportunities will slip through your fingers, and sometimes things won't work out the way you plan. But the one thing you can always control is your response. Life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. You can be on top of the world today and then wake up tomorrow to a problem you never saw coming. That's just how life works. It doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, what kind of job you hold, or where you come from. Life is going to test you. It's going to send storms your way. And sometimes those storms will feel like they never going to end. But the real difference between people who crumble and people who rise isn't that one has fewer problems than the other. The difference is in how they respond. See, every single one of us has the power to choose our response. That's where calmness comes in. Most of the time, we think power comes from being louder, tougher, stronger, faster. But the real power in this life is being able to remain calm when everything around you is falling apart. Anybody can scream, anybody can panic, anybody can get angry. That doesn't take any strength. But to look a problem in the face and say, I'm not going to let you break me, that takes real strength. I've lived long enough to understand that your reaction can make a small problem grow into a big one, or it can make a big problem shrink down to something you can handle. It's not always the situation that ruins people, it's their reaction to it. Some folks lose opportunities because they can't control their temper. Some folks mess up relationships because they react before they think. Some folks give up on themselves because they panic when life hits them hard. But if you can train your mind to stay calm, you put yourself in a position of power no matter what life brings. Let me tell you this, storms will come. That's guaranteed. You can't pray away challenges. You can't buy your way out of them. You can't run fast enough to escape them. But you can stand in the middle of the storm and choose peace over panic. Calmness doesn't mean you don't care. Calmness means you care enough about your future to not let your present mess ruin it. Calmness means you understand that no storm lasts forever. Think about it like this. Imagine you're on a plane and there's turbulence. Everybody around you is nervous, some are panicking, but the pilot's voice comes over the intercom. Steady, calm, control. That calmness from the pilot gives everyone else confidence. The situation didn't change. The turbulence is still there. But the calmness changes how people deal with it. That's what you have to do in your own life. You have to be the pilot of your own mind, speaking calm into your own storms, because panic will not help you fly through it. When life throws challenges at you, you can either react with fear or you can respond with calmness. Fear makes you lose sight of solutions, but calmness opens your eyes to possibilities you never thought of. Fear tells you it's over. Calmness tells you this is just temporary. Fear steals your energy. Calmness preserves it. Fear makes the problem bigger. Calmness makes it manageable. You have to remember, calmness is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about knowing that even in the middle of imperfection, you can still keep your peace. That peace gives you strength. That peace allows you to think clearly. That peace gives you the patience to wait until the storm passes, because it always will. Every problem has an expiration date, but if you lose your calm, you might quit before you even reach the solution. A lot of people misunderstand calmness. They think if you don't react, if you don't shout back, if you don't argue, somehow you're weak. But let me tell you something. Staying calm is one of the strongest things you can ever do in this life. Weakness is letting your emotions run wild. Weakness is exploding every time something doesn't go your way. Weakness is allowing other people's words or actions to control how you feel. The strength is being able to keep your peace when everything around you is trying to steal it. See, anybody can get mad. That doesn't take any effort at all. Anybody can blow up when they're frustrated, but it takes discipline, it takes self-control, it takes real power to remain calm. Calmness is not silence out of fear. Calmness is silence out of wisdom. It's choosing not to waste your energy on battles that don't matter. It's choosing not to let every little thing pull you out of character. That's not weakness. That's mastery. Life will always put you in situations where you have the choice to react or to respond. Reactions are quick, emotional, and usually messy. Responses are thought out, measured, and powerful. The calm person doesn't let the moment dictate their actions. They dictate their actions regardless of the moment. That's strength. That's control. I've seen people lose jobs, lose relationships, lose opportunities, not because they weren't smart enough or talented enough, but because they didn't know how to stay calm. They let anger speak louder than wisdom. They let frustration cloud their judgment. And once you say or do something in the heat of the moment, you can't take it back. But when you stay calm, you keep the upper hand. You keep your dignity, which you keep your strength. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people arguing. One is shouting, throwing insults, losing their mind. The other is calm, steady, unbothered. Who do you think looks stronger? The one who lost control or the one who kept control? The calm person always wins because they didn't allow the other person to take them out of their zone. That's why I always say calmness is strength. It makes you unshakable. Don't confuse calmness with weakness. Weakness is surrendering to chaos. Weakness is letting situations decide who you are. Calmness is standing in the middle of chaos and saying, I know who I am, and nothing out here is going to change that. Calmness gives you the ability to rise above pettiness, to walk away from nonsense, and to focus on what really matters. That's not weakness, that's growth. People who mistake your calmness for weakness don't understand that it actually takes more energy to stay calm than it does to lash out. You got to train your mind. You got to discipline your emotions. You got to practice self-control. That's not easy. But when you master it, you become a force to be reckoned with. You're no longer reactive. You're intentional. And intentional people build lives that reactive people only dream about. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, remember this. Calmness is not you backing down. Calmness is you choosing not to be dragged down. Calmness is you protecting your peace, protecting your future, protecting your power. Weak people let the world control their mood. Strong people control their mood no matter what the world does. Calmness is strength because it takes everything inside of you to stay steady when life is trying to shake you. Calmness is not something you wake up with one day and suddenly have mastered. It doesn't just show up in your life because you wish for it. Calmness is a muscle. And just like any other muscle in your body, you've got to work it, you've got to train it, and you've got to put it through repetition until it grows stronger. Too many people think calmness is a personality trait. You either have it or you don't. No, calmness is a skill, and every skill requires practice. Think about it like this. When you first start working out, you can't lift the heavy weights right away. You start small, you build consistency, and eventually the weights that once felt impossible now feel easy. Calmness works the same way. At first it's hard. Someone disrespects you and you want to clap back. Someone frustrates you and your blood pressure shoots up. You feel like you've got no control. But if you make it a daily habit to pause, to breathe, to step back instead of jumping in, little by little, your calmness muscle gets stronger. Everyday life gives you opportunities to train this muscle. Somebody cut you off in traffic, that's your chance to practice. Your kids are acting up, that's your chance to practice. You're waiting in a long line and patience is running thin, that's your chance to practice. See, the problem is most people waste these opportunities. They let every small irritation knock them off balance, and then when a real storm comes, they've got no strength left. But the people who practice calmness daily are ready when the big tests come, because they built endurance. You got to understand, calmness doesn't mean nothing bothers you. It means you've trained yourself to handle what bothers you without letting it control you. Just like an athlete doesn't stop getting tired. They just know how to push through it. Calm people don't stop feeling emotions. They just know how to channel them in the right direction. Think about professional athletes. The reason they perform so well under pressure isn't because the pressure doesn't exist. It's because they've trained themselves to stay calm in the middle of the moment. They've practiced so much that their calmness kicks in automatically. That's how life works too. You can't expect to stay calm in the biggest storms if you don't practice in the small ones. Every day, you're either building the muscle or you're letting it stay weak. Let me tell you this. You don't train calmness when life is easy. You train it when life is uncomfortable. That's when growth happens. When you want to argue, but you choose to breathe instead, that's a rep. When you want to quit, but you decide to hold on, that's a rep. When you want to react, but you choose to respond, that's a rep. And the more reps you put in, the stronger your calmness gets. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until a crisis hits to learn how to be calm. By then, it's too late to start training. You don't wait until the championship game to start practicing. You practice long before the game ever comes. Life works the same way. You've got to train calmness before you need it. That way, when the storm shows up, you're already prepared. So if you want calmness, don't just hope for it. Work at it. Practice it every day in the little moments. Build it like a muscle until it becomes second nature. That's how you grow into someone who stays steady no matter what life throws at you. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in life is that the state of your mind determines the quality of your decisions. When your mind is calm, you can see things clearly. You can weigh your options. You can think about the long term, and you can act with wisdom. But when your mind is angry or fearful, your judgment gets clouded. Anger makes you react too fast. Fear makes you hesitate too long. And neither one of those will get you where you want to go in life. How many times have you said something in anger that you wish you could take back? How many times have you let fear stop you from going after an opportunity that could have changed your life? That's the power of emotion when it's out of control. It will make you do things you regret or keep you from doing things you need to do. And once those moments pass, you can't rewind the clock. That's why it's so important to stay calm. Calmness gives you the space between what happens to you and how you respond. That space is where wisdom lives. Think about it. If someone insults you, your first instinct is to fire back. But if you stay calm, you might realize that their words don't deserve your energy. If you get bad news, your first reaction might be panic. But if you stay calm, you give yourself the chance to focus on solutions instead of drowning in the problem. A calm mind doesn't mean the situation is easy. It just means you've put yourself in a better position to handle it. I've made plenty of bad decisions in my life. And I can tell you right now, most of them came when I was emotional. When I was frustrated, I rushed into things I shouldn't have rushed into. When I was scared, I didn't take risks I should have taken. But the best decisions I've ever made came when I was steady, when I was centered, when I gave myself a moment to breathe and think. Calmness is like a filter. It separates the noise from the truth. Imagine your mind like a lake. When the water is still, you can see straight down to the bottom. Everything is clear. But when the water is stirred up, when the waves are crashing, you can't see anything. Anger and fear are like those waves. They stir up your mind so much that you can't see straight. Calmness settles the water, clears your vision, and helps you make choices you won't regret later. Sometimes people think fast decisions are strong decisions. No, that's not true. Strong decisions are the right decisions. And to make the right decisions, you need clarity. You need perspective. You need calmness. If you let anger or fear drive the car, they'll take you straight into a ditch. But if calmness is behind the wheel, you'll find yourself on the right road every time. When you calm, you don't just think better. You also see people better. You can understand where they're coming from. You can listen without letting your ego get in the way. You can solve conflicts instead of making them worse. That's why calm leaders are respected. They don't make choices based on how they feel in a moment. They make choices based on what's best in the long run. You'll never be able to stop feeling anger or fear. That's part of being human. But you can train yourself not to let those emotions make the decisions for you. Let the emotions knock on the door, but don't let them sit in the driver's seat. Let calmness be the one who decides. Because when your mind is calm, your life moves in the right direction. Your peace of mind is one of the most valuable things you'll ever own in this life. Money can come and go. People can walk in and out of your life. Situations can change overnight. But if you've got peace in your heart and in your mind, you are richer than most folks out here. See, the world is loud. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got demands. And everybody's got some kind of drama they want you to step into. If you don't learn how to protect your peace, this world will eat it up and leave you drained. The truth is, peace doesn't just happen. You got to fight for it. You got to guard it like treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Without peace of mind, you can't think straight. Without peace, you can't sleep well. Without peace, you can't enjoy the blessings you already have because you're too caught up in the noise around you. Protecting your peace means being intentional about what you allow into your life, who you allow, what you watch, what you listen to, and what kind of energy you surround yourself with. Right? Some of y'all need to realize that not everybody deserves access to you. Just because someone wants to argue doesn't mean you have to show up. Just because somebody is miserable doesn't mean you have to carry their misery. Protecting your peace sometimes means saying no, walking away, and not feeling guilty about it. That's strength. That's wisdom, because the moment you sacrifice your peace to please everybody else, you will lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, you got nothing left to give. I've learned that peace is expensive. It costs you something. It might cost you certain friendships. It might cost you certain habits. It might even cost you opportunities that look good but aren't good for your spirit. But let me tell you this. Whatever you lose while protecting your peace, you didn't need it in the first place. Anything or anyone that destroys your peace isn't worth keeping around. Think about how many mistakes people make when they're not at peace. Stress will have you snapping at the people you love. Anxiety will have you making choices out of fear. Restlessness will have you chasing things that don't even matter. But when you protect your peace, you can see clearly. You can love freely. You can focus on what's real instead of what's temporary. That's why your peace is priceless, because it shapes the quality of every part of your life. Protecting your peace doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you understand that you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're always drained, always stressed, always battling in your own mind, how can you show up fully for anybody else? Taking care of your peace is taking care of your purpose. When your mind is calm, your vision is sharp. When your spirit is at rest, your energy is strong. And when your heart is peaceful, you can face anything without falling apart. Don't let people guilt trip you into chaos. Don't let situations control your emotions. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Stress kills dreams. Chaos drains potential. Noise steals joy, but peace gives you the strength to keep going, the wisdom to make the right moves, and the ability to actually enjoy the blessings God has already given you. At the end of the day, your peace is not optional. It's essential. It's the foundation for everything else you're trying to build. Guard it, value, protect it with everything you've got. Chaos is something we can't avoid in this life. It shows up in different forms. Confusion at work, drama in relationships, unexpected problems, setbacks that come out of nowhere. Chaos is everywhere. And if you don't learn how to rise above it, it will pull you under every single time. But here's the truth. Calmness is the key that lets you rise above the mess. Calmness is what separates the people who get stuck in the storm from the people who use the storm to climb higher. See, chaos wants to distract you. It wants to keep you so busy fighting fires that you never build anything meaningful. Chaos wants to rob you of focus, because focus is where success lives. The more time you spend tangled in noise, the less time you spend creating solutions and moving forward. Calmness is how you escape that trap. When you calm, you can see the big picture. You can step back and ask yourself, what really matters here? What's the best move I can make? And when you can do that, you put yourself in position to succeed while everybody else is still running in circles. I've been in rooms where everybody was panicking, and I've seen how one calm voice changes everything. Calmness brings order to disorder. Calmness brings clarity to confusion, and calmness brings power to the one who has it. Success doesn't belong to the loudest person in the room. Success belongs to the person who can think clearly when everybody else is losing their head. Sometimes life will throw so much at you that it feels impossible to keep your balance. Bills stacking up, people counting on you, problems piling on top of each other. And in those moments, the easy thing to do is panic, to throw your hands up, to let fear take over.